Hey there, and welcome back to this random ass Soul Level 1 playthrough of Dark Souls 3. Last time we went through the Irithyll dungeons and it was not fun at all, but that's over with. So today we're going to be heading into the Profane Capital, but before I get started with that I'm going to come over here to see Andre so I can have a look at some stuff, including giving him my Estus shard so I can reinforce my Estus, as well as this coal I found, which, well, I'm never going to do anything with, but it doesn't matter. So afterwards I'm going to have a look at Grey Rat, but I'm going to realize that he isn't there, so instead I'm just going to say screw it and start moving on. I'm going to forget about the ashes I picked up, so I'm not going to give them to the Shrine Maiden just yet. And I'm going to sit at the bonfire and burn the dead bone shard I picked up somewhere in Irithyll, and now I'm going to be ready to finally head to the Profane Capital for real this time. So here we are, and I'm going to start off by heading backwards down this ladder so that I can go to the swamp part of this map to do my business over there. So now I'm going to drop down here, and a little further ahead is these gold coins over here. After this is these purple moss clips right over here, which is very important because we're about to jump in a giant toxic swamp, and well, it sucks, so we're just going to roll on out there, pick up these purging stones and kill these spiders because screw them. So I'll go ahead and climb up this ladder here, and in this room there's another one of those things, and I'm actually going to go ahead and kill this one since he's all alone. It's not going to be as much of a pain, but he's pretty easy to kill. He just kind of takes a lot of hits, and he gives me a dung pie, so that's cool. Pick up this armor set over here, and right back here is this chest. But as you've probably guessed, it's not a chest, it's actually a mimic. So I'm going to go ahead and kill it, pick up this rubbish, which is very important. And I'm also going to kill the angry magic man over here. So he's going to poise through my attacks and actually land a hit on me. So I'm just going to go back and heal myself so that I don't die. And after one more hit and finally one final hit, he goes down. And he gives you a scroll upon dying, so that's cool, but I don't really have what it takes to make any real use out of it, so whatever. Come over here and jump through this window so you can actually head on over to a very special someone. So using a key that you picked up in the dungeons, you can open this door and you can talk to Sigurd, and he gives you a Titanite slab, which is actually pretty important. There's also the covetous gold serpent ring if that interests you, but for me it doesn't. So whatever. So before I go, I'm going to climb up this ladder, and at the top is some rusted coins, and those things are always nice. So now I'm going to go down this ladder, and we're actually going to move on for real this time. So after sliding down this long ass ladder, it's time to head on over to this bridge, kind of. And over here is this spot where you can actually drop down, so you can get down faster, and make sure that you don't get shot by too many fireballs. There was also an item over there, but I didn't pick it up because, well, I didn't realize it was there, I suppose. So anyway, there's your shortcut to getting down there, so that's kind of cool. Pick up this rusted coin as well as this other rusted coin over here and start backstabbing some peasants. So now there's this whole group of people just standing around over here, so I'm going to go ahead and equip some firebombs, and I'm going to start yeeting them all over the place to hit these guys so I can get their attention in order to lure them over to me so that I don't have to aggro all of them at the same time, because there's this gargoyle up there and I want to be able to fight it one-on-one without any distractions. So after luring it down here, I start fighting it, and well, you know, I've fought one of those things before, so everything is going to be perfectly fine. Or at least that's what I thought, until I suddenly got slammed in the back of the head by another gargoyle that came from God knows where, and it wasn't long before I died. So after making my way back, I decided I'm going to go ahead and start off with this gargoyle that ambushed me, so that I don't have to fight them both at the same time like last time. So I'm going to start with this one first this time around, and well, as you can see, it didn't go too well either. So after coming back, I went ahead and killed the gargoyle this time. I also went ahead and picked up these souls over here. So with all of that done, I came back over here and started fighting this gargoyle, and after getting it staggered, I eventually went ahead and killed it. And then I went ahead and started looting all these chests, one of which is an ember, and the other two are actually mimics, which give you a random great shield over here, as well as some rusted gold coins. So it's time for Yorm now, but first I have to watch a little bit of the cutscene because I was drinking water. So here's Sigurd and here's not Sigurd, so let's get this fight started, shall we? So as always, this fight is pathetically easy, even if you're doing a soul level 1 run, because, well, Yorm is just bad and he can't hit you for shit, so it's whatever. So you just run past him, you pick up the Storm Ruler, and then you go in your inventory to equip the Storm Ruler. Also unequip your shield so that you can fall below 70% equip load so that you don't fat roll all over the place. And after that, it's a simple matter of holding L2 so you can charge the weapon and just shooting it at Yorm whenever you get close enough and the weapon is fully charged. And that's really about it. There's nothing special or no tricks to it. You just charge the sword and then you let it rip. It's really that easy. While you're doing that, Yorm is going to pretend to try and hit you, but because he's terrible, well, his attacks will never actually hit you unless you mess up terribly. So sometimes he'll interrupt your charge, but it doesn't really matter. You just keep on charging it and that's it. So there you go, he's about almost dead, but I got hit there because I didn't have any stamina left to roll away, but it's whatever. So Sigurd goes ahead and does us the honor of finishing up the fight. So yeah, that was an experience and a half, but even if you didn't bring Sigurd for whatever reason, it shouldn't really be that hard. You just maybe have to be a little more careful that you manage your stamina a little bit better so you can avoid getting hit, but even then it doesn't matter. It's not like he kills you in one hit, so whatever. Again, it's piss easy. So with Yorm dead, you can go ahead and grab the bonfire and make sure that you watch Sigurd die in the background while you're doing so. I'm not sure exactly why he just ups and vanishes, but it's his choice, I guess, so you can go ahead and pick up his stuff if you want as well, his armor and stuff, but I didn't even pick up the armor, I just picked up the shield and another Storm Ruler, so whatever. Anyway, let's move on, and now we're heading on to Anne Orlando, so we can go ahead and kill Aldrich, but first we gotta kill a couple of deacons. So go ahead and kill them because they're annoying otherwise, and I'm not going to kill the rest of them, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick up this large Titanite shard over here, and on the way back this guy decides to come over and pick a fight with me, so I figure I'm going to kill him for committing this war crime against me, but well, I was being really bad and I just kept screwing everything up, so that was a fun experience. So I'm just going to keep healing over and over, and eventually the dark element on his weapon is going to run out, so he's going to go back to apply it once again, and I'm going to use this opportunity to get a couple of hits in, and eventually I'm going to get hit once more, and then I'm just going to start whacking him, but I'm going to miss a couple of hits and he's going to hit me for it, so after I dodge this ram attack, I'm just going to go ahead and finish him off. So for some reason that was way harder than it should have been. Over here is this door where there's a couple of stuff you can pick up if that interests you, but it doesn't really interest me. So in this other part of the area is this whole bunch of giants, but there's only 2 of them that are actually alive, the others are all dead. So pick up this ember and then come over here to kill the other giant, and he's really easy because it takes a sweet time getting up, so eventually he's going to stagger and then you can just go ahead and kill him, so that's always fun. You can also go ahead and pick up this item over here. So now I'm going to pick up this soul over here, and I'm also going to pick up the Titanite shard the giant left for me, and over here is a large Titanite shard, so that's always nice. Now I'm going to roll into this wall because it's fake, and down the ladder is a room where there's a lot of water as well as 2 of those guys. So I've imbued my sword with dark in order to do more damage so I can kill them faster, because unlike the first one of these guys that we met, these ones are actually a lot more dangerous, so that's always fun. But eventually I'm going to start smacking them, but he's going to dodge some of my hits, and he's going to slowly approach me like it's nobody's business, and now he's going to try to eat me, so that's always fun. And also these guys have a lot of range on their attacks, and for some reason they can also stagger you if they step on you, so I don't know why they stagger you. I generally enjoy getting stepped on, but that's another matter. I don't actually enjoy getting stepped on, but oh well. So when they do their lightning attack, it's your main opportunity to do some damage because they stand completely still and they just leave themselves wide open, so that's always nice. So anyway, here's 2 more hits and he's almost dead, so one final hit, except not really, I missed somehow, but after getting hit, I'm going to finally land the real final blow, and a short while later I go ahead and kill the second guy, and they drop the Ring of Favor, which is actually a pretty good ring, because it gives you health and stamina, and some equip load as well, so that's always nice. Also a bonfire spawns in all this water somehow, don't worry about it. So after sitting on the bonfire to replenish my Estus, I'm going to have a look at my ring so I can decide where I'm going to equip the Ring of Favor instead. So after careful consideration, I'm going to go ahead and equip it, I think. Well, yes, I will, but not in place of the Chloranthy ring, in place of the Pontiff's Left Eye ring. And also pick up these things, which are just for this Covenant over there, so whatever. Pick up this Titanite scale as well. We have now entered Archer territory, and it's quite a mess. So it's all a whole bunch of Silver Knights, so kill one of them, cause an unfortunate accident, get shot in the back while you're there, because that's always fun. Make sure you don't die, and head down over here, because there's actually a very important item. Well, it's not very important, but it's a large Titanite shard, so it's always nice to have. Drop down here and you can pick up the Easterner's Ashes, which will allow you to buy large Titanite shards, so if you ever run out of some, you can go ahead and buy some more. Also parry this guy just for the fun of it, and a little while later you can mess up terribly and get killed instead. After respawning, I came across this guy on the way, so I went ahead and pranked him, and I also pick up this armor set over here behind an invisible wall. It's not that important. Pick up this large Titanite shard over here and head on to this door where there's a ladder behind it, and it'll actually give you a shortcut to the previous area where there was a shit ton of deacons and whatnot. So drop down the ladder and open this door, so that's always nice if you end up dying later on. Also pick up this ember and pull this switch so you can move on. So the switch will cause the tower to go back down, and eventually you'll be able to get on and climb all the way up to the top, where there'll be another lever that you can push, and what this will do is basically take you all the way up to Anorlando, which is the next place you have to go. So make sure that you roll when you're next to the bonfire by pressing the wrong button, and afterwards you can go ahead and light it and sit back down to regain your Estus. Also get smacked by a Silver Knight, that's very important. Moving on, pick up this soul item over here, and as well as this soul item over here. And inside you can kill these deacons and pick up this Covenant item. And I'm also going to go ahead and kill a couple of mucks with a fire resin to kill them faster, and eventually this thing is going to drop down from the ceiling. So I tried to jump attack its face to stagger it, but I ended up not going far enough, so I just missed instead. So I'm going to get a couple of hits, and he's going to hit me, so I'm going to go back and heal, and I'm going to get pranked by this muck that was casually sitting behind me. But eventually I'm going to just manage to get out just barely, and he's going to start shooting his death gas all over the place, so I'm going to wait for him to come over to me, and one dash attack later he staggers, so here's a crit. And he's going to survive just barely, so I'm just going to run up and finish him off. So after killing him, I'm going to apply fire to my sword once more, and I'm going to start smacking away at the rest of the mucks that are all over the place so I can kill them. I also pick up the Aldrich Ruby that guy left for me, which could be useful somewhere. It heals you whenever you get a crit, so that's always cool. So after killing a bunch of mucks, open up this treasure chest to get an Estus shard, so that's actually really nice. Also pull this lever, make sure you glitch through it so you can open the doors to give yourself a shortcut. Anyway, it's time for Aldrich, so I'm using a Green Blossom for extra stamina regen, as well as some Charcoal Pine Resin for extra damage. And now it's time to head on for attempt number 1. So I'm just going to run up to him, and he's going to start with arrows, because he's mean, but it doesn't matter, because phase 1 arrows are a total joke. So just go ahead and slap his ass, basically, and eventually he's going to go down into the ground. So eventually I kept going until I reached phase 2, and then I died. So attempt number 2, I'm going to buff the same way I did before. So use the Charcoal Pine Resin while you're inside the arena so you don't get blasted in the ass by those deacons outside. So he's going to start with arrows again, of course, and he's going to get a few hits in on me this time, but it doesn't really matter. I do a little less damage, but it's no big deal. So he's going to bury for the first time, and he's going to spawn back over there for some reason. So he's going to shoot out a ton of magic bullets, and I'm going to dodge his big slam attack that comes right after, and I'm going to use this as a free opportunity to get a couple of hits in. I also picked up my souls, my 151,000 souls, so I sure hope I don't lose those anywhere. Spoiler alert, I think. So basically the fight just boils down to you going back behind him and slapping his ass with your sword while he starts swinging his lance or whatever it is all over the place, but it's not a big deal. He's pretty slow, and as long as you have max health so your lords can protect you, you're never going to get one shot, so you just have to make sure that you don't get hit by some stray magic projectile beforehand or something. So anyway, here he goes down into the ground, and I was planning on using the charcoal pine resin to buff my sword back up, but during the second phase, whenever he goes down, he actually summons a ton of magic projectiles, so that's a little worrying. And here he decides to actually go for the arrow attack, and it's actually a lot more dangerous during phase 2 because it follows you all over the place, and it also lasts for a while longer. And as you can see, I almost died there, but I managed to survive, so that's cool. So after dodging another attack, I'm just going to keep on slapping his ass. So he's going to come out of the ground behind me over here, and he is basically almost dead, so he's going to use his life fund scythe, which actually heals him if he manages to hit you, and because I'm bad at the game I can't dodge it for shit, so he's going to go back under the ground once more and spawn a whole lot more magic projectiles, but if you just keep running and you'll probably avoid them. So he's going to use his life steal attack again, but I'm actually going to dodge it this time, and there we go, now he's dead, so that wasn't too bad, and I only managed to die once. So now I'm going to go to the bonfire, and it's going to trigger the cutscene that is going to teleport me to the next boss, which is going to be Dancer. So I'm going to spawn right here in High Wall of Lothric, and I'm going to contemplate my options before using a green blossom and some charcoal pine resin, and then head into the Dancer fight. So I'm going to be giving it a shot. So it's time for the Dancer fight, and just in case you weren't aware, this fight is a real pain in the ass, so I'm just going to let you guess how things went, and if you guessed that I died a whole bunch of times, well, congratulations, you were right. So after 6 failed attempts, it's time to actually succeed now, so I'm going to start with a green blossom to increase my stamina regen, and use some human pine resin to buff my sword with the dark element, because that seems to be the most effective one as far as I'm aware, but I think bleed works well too, and lightning probably does because it usually does. So I didn't bother using an ember this time because during phase 2 she usually ends up killing me regardless, so I figured there was no point in really doing so. I also eventually swapped out the Ring of Favor that I equipped earlier back to the Pontiff's right eye for the extra damage because, well, since I suck at dodging, I figured the most logical thing to do would be to try and kill her as fast as possible before she can kill me, so I put the Pontiff's right eye for the extra damage. So you want to spend most of the fight hugging your ass, because that's usually where you're safest, since most of the attacks that she does when you're over there are usually the slow and single hit ones, so it's easier that way, but well, as you can see, I almost died a couple of times during this fight, but eventually I did manage to land the final blow when she had like 1 HP left, so there you go, that was the fight against Dancer. It was a real pain in the ass, but well, it's done now, so happy about that. And that's going to be the end of the video today, so once again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, that's cool. If not, well, I'm sorry, I tried my best. Also, yeah, I'm going to go to sleep again.